Yo, what's going on? Strat Soldier here for the weekend shift. How you guys doing? Good morning, good morning. It is February 28th and the month of February is over. It is over. So, heck yeah. How you guys doing out there? Zay is in the house. What's going on, Zay? Man, that was a good show the other day. I tried to get on. Go check out Zay's show, Late Night Leverage. Really cool name. Jealous of the name. That's a great name. Late Night Leverage, and they talk about all kind of good stuff over there. It's a good thing. What's up? Beach Bum is in the house. It's going to be a good show. Before we get too far into all of this, check out thestratsoldier.com, thestratsoldier.com. and learn the strat for real. All right, there's some people out here teaching some weird stuff and stuff that's not the strat. So go check it out. Check out my execution course. That's where you'll learn the basics of the universal truth of actionable signals. Excuse me, I got caught up in my words. Cedric says, I was really impressed with the Strat Soldier's execution course. It explains everything to a T. So get in there, learn the strat for real. All right, learn the strat for real. All these other guys that are putting out like, hey, it's a free thing for the strat. Like, it's free for a reason. All right, it's because it's just lots of times it's a load of crap. So get in there, learn the strat for real. And there's two other courses in there: time frame continuity and unlocking broadening formations. And you can get everything on the website all at once with the combat load. All right, that even gets you a one-on-one with me, so you can make sure that you're on track learning the strat. Yep. Zay, very good show. I let you guys have a good show, and it's always fun. And you guys are, and the best part about it is the things we see line up. You know what I mean? We might approach it different, but it lines up, and that's awesome. That's really cool. I like that a lot. And we're still trading in this range. Zay was talking about this too. We're trading in a range. So if you feel like trading is kind of hard right now, it's been like that for the last 2 months, but it's just kind of just doing this. All right, just trading sideways. The ranges are pretty good. Meaning, you catch a reversal and take it back to the highs, or to catch a reversal and work it back to the lows. That's good. But, just for swing trading in general, it's a mess. It's a hot mess. There's some good ones out there. Energy, XLP with consumer staples. There's some good ones in there. You just got to do some digging. And pretty soon tech will come back up. It will, just not right now, right? Not right now. It's just a messy mess. So let's see if there's anything funny out there in Twitter land. Let's go see if there's anything funny in Twitter land, and we'll come back to what we got going on here. Here's something that I definitely want to show you guys. All right. If you guys go to, hold on. All right, if you guys go to the YouTube page, the Strat Soldier YouTube page, okay? If you guys go to the Strat Soldier YouTube page, there's a community thing on there, okay? Starting a community on there. I do have one for the StratSoldier.com, but check this out. Twitter is bombarded with Iran situation. Yeah. So you're right. But if you go here, go to the community section. As long as you're subscribed, you should be able to post some pictures. Next week, Dave, he is a member of the Strat Warriors. All right, he posted a picture of his charts. Check out Roku on the month. So we were able to talk about this. It was a good time, and then you can see a bunch of my posts as well. Well, he posted this one. He's been trying to post this one. So he posted this one like 3 or 4 times. Goodness. All right, but you'll see all my other posts in here as well. If you have questions about the strat or things you want to look at, put it right here. All right, it's awesome. All right, I'm glad that works. Where's Twitterland? Yeah, you said it's bombarded with Iran, but I was just going to go straight to these. Hold on.
Welcome, late.
All right. That was kind of wonky there. Usually I do a transition to that, but anyway, some good laughs here. Carlos, yeah, I know. So Checkmate was out there. She's laughing about her. She's like, these charts are ugly out here, ugly charts today, and so we're laughing. With all the craziness in the world, just need some laughs. And I dig down into hers, and I posted this meat. It's like, ugh, these charts are terrible charts, absolutely terrible. Terry Baker's in the house. Had a good coaching session with him before the weekend shift. Let's see here. This is what I'm talking about. Everything's stuck. All right, trading sideways. We'll talk more about that here in a minute, but I mean, everything's just stuck. All right, trading in the same range, hitting here, come down here, hit here, come down here, hit here, so it's just nasty. And then yesterday did not do much. What's up? Empowerment Assets is in the house. Merck's still good. Hammer in force on the year, still good. All right. Netflix to the lows, but forming a hammer on the month. We're going to be looking at that. Netflix. It's interesting that their stock went back up after they stopped talking about buying. After they started, saying they weren't going to buy Netflix. Excuse me. Netflix said they weren't going to buy Warner Brothers anymore, and then their stock went to the highs. That was weird. Did they have earnings? I don't think so, but we'll look. Zay, do you know if they had earnings, Zay? Shout out to Gotti. Gotti's doing good things. He's been trading the Strat for a long time, and finally he's getting he's getting his results on his leap contracts that he likes to do. Finally, I say finally because he's been doing it for a long time, and he's getting it together. So that is awesome. John Smith doing some good things with Apple. All right, Dell back to the highs, up 6% after market. Shout out to Andy with Mighty Soldiers. And then sometimes you gotta do this in the army. You're sweeping. Look at this, sweeping water off the sidewalk. Golly. Dell Y. Let me see here. Shout out to Call Me 100K. Me and him just going back and forth about how people are making the Strat more complicated instead of just doing the Strat. They got to make it more complicated. Not necessarily John, but other people. They're out here just, again, teaching silly stuff. So silly stuff. So there you go there. It was funny. And then John caught a good 313 down on this one. Motor City Madhouse to the lows. Shout out to Options Mike. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to him. And I think that's it for Twitter. One thing I definitely want to bring this up. We know what your winning trades look like, and we know what your losing trades look like. All right, losing trades look like a chopped up trading a scenario 1, scenario 2 going against you, scenario 3 going against you. Okay, time frame continuity going against you. Winning trades look like scenario 2 in your favor, scenario 3 in your favor, and then time frame continuity back in your favor. That's what that looks like, okay? Good stuff. Back to the highs. All right. We want that. You want time frame continuity going back in your favor. I said back to the highs because a lot of people that I work with, they just, they only go long. But I mean, time frame continuity going back in your favor. All right, just like John with the 313 back down, it went back into time frame continuity to the downside. So that's what, definitely want to highlight that there. Anything else? Especially, keep your stops tight. All right, keep your stops tight. All right, we don't want to let these trades go so far against us where we're losing a ton of money. Okay, we don't want that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Zay says, you're the first person that made the strat make sense for me. I don't claim to trade the strat or even try and teach it, but I like to understand, and like you said, and like you said, a lot of the time we're on the same page, just different perspective. Yeah. Thank you, Zay. I appreciate that. You're right. And I'm glad I'm able to make the strat make sense to you. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, because people out here they're showing some silliness. You're like, what? What are you talking about? Anyway, that's Twitter. Like I said, this is a lot more funnier than last week. Last week we had no funny stuff out there. There wasn't nothing funny. We had a couple funny things out there. I got one more minute on my intro, and then we'll go into what we talked about. We'll go into what happened last week, and we'll talk about actionable signals for next week. Good morning, Marlon B. Marlon B is in the house. Looking for actionable signals on the month as well. Definitely. I got 1 minute. 1 minute to kill. Again, go check out thestratsoldier.com. If you want one of these, coffee cups, all right, check out the Strat starter kit. All right, that'll get you 2 ebooks and one of these coffee cups. All right, let's get into the charts. All right, let's do it. That's why you're here. Let's get into the charts. Oh, he said, what do you think about this attack? Oh man. We'll see what it does to the charts. Honestly, I would think, hopefully it doesn't keep escalating. I did see that we attacked Iran, or Israel attacked Iran, and then Iran attacked some U.S. bases. So it could escalate very quickly. Hopefully it does not, but it could. And then when it comes to economic wise with the stocks, honestly, I would say look for some downside action and see everything pull down to the lows. But I don't know, man. I don't know because in the last year and a half, the news has not meant anything to the market. It just keeps going up. And that's the weird part right now. You can't look at the news and go, that's going to make it go to the lows. You can't do that right now. It's really weird. It's really weird. Any good monthly signals? Yeah, we're going to be getting to that. Weekly signals might be affected by the attacks. Yes, they might be. But again, the market might not care. I don't know. Let's get into the charts. All right. Let's get into the charts. And the reason why I say the market might not care is because it's just, we've seen some devastating news. I say devastating, but we've seen some bad news and come out, and the market just goes, oh, okay. So it's just odd. It's just really, really, really odd time right now, okay? And I don't know why it doesn't make sense, and I don't know why the market does not care about some of this news, because usually you see a gap down on the week, or 2 down on the month or something like that, everything's just dropping to the lows because the market doesn't like uncertainty. It's odd. It's really odd. What's up, Richard Judge in the house? Good morning, everybody. Facts. The market bucks any news. I'm wondering if this one is different. Yeah. Also, I also think it will depend on how long this lasts. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. The boss was like, hey, you know, so I gotta shoot a text, be like, hey, what's going on? The boss is asking some questions. Let's see here. So SPY doing this, just chopping around. And Zay was talking about this. If you watch Zay's show and now you're watching me, this is what Zay was talking about. All right, it's just doing this. All right, we're we're hitting the. You could probably get some trades out of this because the range is so big. You know, from 677 up to 697. You know, there's some big range in here, but for the most part, it's just going sideways. All right. And we've been watching this for a while, so you can see this. We've been watching this for a while, and this all been reconfirmed on the week. All right, kind of chop it around on the week. Me and JJ, if you watch the Enforce podcast or listen to it, this is doing this as well. All right, not a lot, not really great. Okay, not great. Dow Jones doing a little better, but here's your days. Okay, to the lows. All right, to the lows. QQQ. 2 up on the week, but then ends as a doji, and then Friday does this. All right, same thing with SPY. It just goes 2 down, comes up a little bit, and then just sits. All right, and this is why we want to look at all 4 time frames all at the same time. All right, the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 60, because the 60s will let you know, okay, this is what's happening right now, and it's not really going very far. All right, not going very far at all. It's easier to gauge. I see a lot of people trading with just 1 time frame. All right, let alone the broadening formation, but they got 1 time frame up, and they're like, okay, well, if we hit this level, we're probably going to hit this level. We might hit that one, and they're just looking at 1 time frame, and hopefully it goes. All right, hopefully it goes. I'm not saying this doesn't work. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it's easier to see what everything else is doing when you can, you're looking at 4 different time frames. All right, multi-time frame like analysis. All right, I'm 2 up on the week, but it's a doji. It is 2 down on the day. So if this thing's really got to go, if it's going to start, how far can we really get? You can look at that and go, not a lot going on. Okay. You guys are like, yeah, we know. RSP S&P 500 equal weighted, continuing on the highs, all-time highs. Again, what's that going to mean for everything because of these attacks, right? What's that going to mean? Not sure. All right. It could be 2 down on the week on SPY below 681.24. The magnitude would be 676, and then the one after that one's 671. It could go down that far. All right, which would be decent, because then we'd be getting out of this stuck junk range. All right, and it's a brand new month too. All right, brand new month. All right, do we go above 697? And then because of these attacks in the news, do we go below 676? All right, the magnitude there is 652. All right, and then me and JJ were talking about that too, because back in March and April, that's when they decided to take profits. All right, these attacks could be another reason why they want to take profits. Okay. But as far as, I really don't see actionable signals so much on the week on SPY. No actionable signal on Dow Jones, and then QQQ. I mean, it's a doji. All right. So I'm not seeing any actionable signals there. Small crappers, sideways. All right, more sideways action. Volatility, same thing, you know, VXX, UVXY, you know, the volatility is not really going higher. It's a little bit, but it's not really enough to affect things in a negative way and get that thing, you know, volatility really going. Utilities going to the highs, full time frame continuity to the upside, green on the month, green on the week, green on the day, green on these 60s. Okay, XRT retail, hammer on retail. All right, and we got a shooter on the month. Shooter on the month. So what's going to go in force first? Is this going to go 2-2 back up, or is this going to go shooter in force to the lows below $85.94 retail? XLK Tech, all right, shooter on the week below 137.90. All right, so we'll be looking for some downside action here on tech. Still bringing them down. All right, and they're blaming, you know, everybody's blaming AI for this stuff. So looks like the software sell-off continues. XLE, I know Zay is going to be loving this one. Full time frame continuity to the upside, green on the month, green on these weeks, still going. And then if anything's affected by the news, it's definitely going to be this. All right, definitely this. XLE continuing to the highs. Wow. All right, continuing to the highs. I really don't do extended Fibonacci's and all that stuff, but you know, XLE to the highs. Looking at the year, all-time highs. All right, taking them all out. All right, these bars become an outside bar of these bars. All right, this whole thing took out this right here back in 2008. All right, when everything went to the lows, took out the lows, took out the highs. Took some years to do it, but it finally did it. All right, it came out of here once in 2014. But yeah, wow, XLE. And that's the last 2 months. This is out of the last 2 months as well. All right, because you can see it's just going sideways. And then January, February, boom. All right, boom. Explosion. He said, yes, sir, energy. IBB Biotech sideways action, still inside on the month for next month. XLV healthcare inside on the month for next month. Will it go 212 back up above 160.25? It's looking like it. All right, and that'll take it back to all-time highs with healthcare. Healthcare costs are crazy right now. 2-2 back up on Friday above 158.27. That was good. Here's your 60s. That was also really good. All right, so when you see something like this during the day, 2-2 reversal back up on the day, you go down to your healthcare stocks if you haven't already picked them out. All right, and you're just going down and looking for the ones that are doing the same thing. ABBV, AbbVie, 2 up on the day. All right, that's on my watch list for the day. All right, no. The Amgen, that's 1. Okay, we're looking for actionable signals to get in on that. You see what I'm saying? All right, you're skipping the ones that are not 2 up on the week. Excuse me, 2 up on the day. 2 up on the day. All right, this one's good. 2 up on the day. All right, skipping the ones that are not doing it. All right. Again, I'm bringing up Zay again because I was on his show and we're talking the same thing. One of the people in there was talking about, okay, how do I chart? Every time I look at these charts, it's kind of, I don't know what I'm looking at. Well, you want to look for, you want to go where the buyers are actually at. All right, go where the buyers actually are. Again, if healthcare XLV sector is 2 up on the day, you're going to go down these stocks and look for the ones that are doing the exact same thing. Those are the ones you want to be in on, okay? Those are the ones you want to be in on. Johnny John, yes. LH, yes. Lily, yes. If you can find a way in there, get in there. Okay. All right. And let me see one. Let me find one. All right, MDT. Not something I want to be in on. Yes, it's green. You know, it's just $1,000, so this is not a great example. But I really don't want to be in that, right? Pfizer, I can work that. All right. Pergo. Everything else in healthcare going to the highs. PRGO. Pergo going to the lows. Do I want to be in that? Absolutely not. Well, if I buy it down here, it'll catch up. No. No, no, no. All right. All right. So that's what I'm talking about when I say get in there and go where the buyers are actually at. All right. Go where the buyers actually are. VRTX. The buyers are actually here. All right. And you're finding a way to get in on that. And you could do that by going down to smaller time frames and looking for a way in there. Okay. Looking for inside bars. Looking for a reversal back into that. Okay. Maybe a 2-2 reversal. Something like, you know, here's an inside bar right here. All right. Right there above 487.96. Now you're in. Okay. Let me turn this on. And then here's a, this is a messy, you know, a little messy. Just because they're all scrunched up. These are, you know, here's the 312 right here. 312 up above 491.01. Okay. Now you're in. All right. And just because you get in on a 5-minute time frame doesn't mean your stop has to be on that 5-minute time frame. Okay. It does not mean that. I've seen some other people tell people like, well, if you get in on the 5-minute, your stop needs to be on the 5-minute. No. Maybe you're a swing trader. Maybe you're finding a way into this because you're looking at a higher time frame going, yep, 2 up on the week. I want to be in on this. You know, I want to see if we can get to 500. All right. So you don't necessarily need to put your stop on the 5-minute. Bet was looking at Lily. Yeah, Lily's just been going back to the highs. All right. Lily coming back up big time. That's good. That's good. All the way back from 780. Let's go to this monthly chart. All right. 777, 762. All right. Lucky numbers. Lucky numbers if I've ever seen it. All right. You could have started a small position, just 1 or 2 shares, and yes, you could be making money on this. All right. To the highs. To the highs. Very good. Very good. All right. So those are the sectors. So actionable signals on the sectors. What were we looking at? Again, we're looking at XRT with a hammer, XLK with a shooter, and I think that's it. And I think that's it. And then shaking my head with a shooter on the week as well. All right. Below 402.09. Okay. 777. That's right. That is right. All right. Let's go look at the weekend shift watch list from last week, and let's look for some actionable signals for next week, and also some possible monthly signals. All right. Let's do it. All right. Oh no. Hold on. That's better. We're in the tank. We are in the tank. All right. Looking for them actionable signals. About to do some battle. Weekly signals. Let's look at, we're going to look quickly, go down here and look at what worked, and then clear this thing up and look for actionable signals for next week. All right. PNC to the lows, 212 down. and it took out all these targets and then hit the bottom of that scenario 3 right there at 209.56. All right, just shy of magnitude, but you definitely took out some targets there. That was a win. That was a win. Adobe. All right, we'll leave it on the watch list as leftovers for next week. Let's see if it goes above 264.59. 264.59. Not really strong on the month though. Okay. ADP scenario 3 on the week. Ugh, terrible. Autodesk scenario 3 on the week. You could look for a 3-2 up on this if you want a 3-2 up above 290, 249.49. You just got to make sure that the price does not get stuck. You know, don't let it come up and then come back down to the scenario 3, because you can get stuck in there and then you'll be in trouble. All right, you don't need that. You don't need that kind of mess in your life. All right, CRM scenario 3 as well. All right, took out the lows and it came right back up. Take it off the watch list. Citigroup did go 312 down. No, that's a 3. Let me see. Is that 313? Nope. 312 down. Hit magnitude. Made some money there. That's good. That's good. All right. That was a win. Oracle. 2 down on the day. Excuse me. 2 down on the week. Didn't really go far. Oracle. It's been getting wrecked though. Man, Oracle. We were looking for some more downside on that. Didn't really go that far. Visa, we got some leftovers for next week. Visa, let's see if that goes in force above 320.68. The magnitude is 332, 332.73. They really want to start buying that. All right. Rocket Mortgage, or Rocket Companies, it says. But so we got a shooter on the month, but we also have a hammer on the week. So what's going to go in force first? If it goes in force on the week above $18.52, the magnitude is that first 18.88, but the second one is 20.29. Okay, but we also have a shooter on the month. Is that going to go in force below 16.73? We got to watch that. All right, it could keep going back up, but we got to watch this here. MU 2 up on the week. Could be some profit taking for next week below 401.26. It did go 212 up, barely missed magnitude, but came back down. So we'll see. Messy. We'll leave it on there. Hershey's to the highs. Candy bars back to the highs. All right, last 2 months been doing great. Hammer it, went in force above 223.31, and it hit magnitude at 236. Fantastic. That's what you want your trades to look like. Okay. Apple, all right, 212 back up and then came right back down. All right, right back down really quick. All right. AME 212 back up on the week. Full time frame continuity to the upside. Green on the month, green on the week, green on the day, green on the 60s. Chubb 212 back up. All right, crawling its way back up. All right, you had to like kind of like hold on to that one, but you could still be in that. You could still be in that. Hold on to that one. Roku forming a hammer on the month. All right, forming a hammer on the month. So we're going to put that on our monthly signals list here. Where you at? Where are you at? Monthly signals. There you go. Monthly signals. All right. No actionable signal on the week though. Okay. Possible 3-2 up, but no actionable signal on the week. This is a new signal for this week. Car. This came up in the coaching session. Possible 3-2-2 back up. The magnitude is, the trigger is $98.87. The magnitude is 126.22. They want to bring this thing back to the highs. Okay. Tesla scenario 3 and a shooter. Let's see if that goes in force below 395.55. The magnitude is 385.26. Now's the time. If you guys want to put your tickers in the chat, things you want to look at for next week, put it in the chat. Just about done with what happened last week on the watch list. ACAM, probably going to open up inside week next week. Cisco 312. This is a good example of why you don't want to get stuck in a scenario 3. Okay, you don't want the price to get stuck in here. All right, because it could just chop around. So 312 didn't do much, did not do much. ONDS to the lows, inside week though. Comcast 212 down. All right, didn't go very far. Disney, we were talking about Disney on the coaching session. This thing did go 312 down, didn't go very far. Sideways action, okay? Doji on the week, Doji on the month. SanDisk, it always shows this when I click SanDisk. It did go 312 up, but didn't go very far. Came back down red, okay? So that clears up everything from last week. Let me take these off. Remove the flag color. Remove the flag. Remove the flag. Remove the flag. Okay, let's see. Someone said AbbVie. Give me AbbVie. All right, AbbVie for a possible 2-2 reversal backup. Honestly, I'd rather see that as a hammer. We do have a hammer on the month above. Let's see if that goes in force above 235.90 or 69. See if we get through all of this and get to 244.96. 244.96. That would be good. AbbVie, man, AbbVie. Is it all-time highs? Let's see here. Yeah, all-time highs. AbbVie. Easiest way that I see is go to the year. Yep, AbbVie, all-time highs. Jeez. So AbbVie, looking at that, very great, very interesting. All right, we'll put that on the monthly signals list. Monthly signals. Let's do that. Let's go ahead. Let's go to monthly signals for next month, and we'll add some stuff to the week as well. Let's go ahead and clear this up. Edit. We'll leave AbbVie in there. Clean this all up. AbbVie and Roku. Citigroup, one of them? I don't think so. So AbbVie, hammer on the month. Roku, hammer on the month. Let's go to monthly. And let's go hammer. Oh, okay. I see some more. Oop, that's tech. Hold on. Let's go S&P 500. All right, we got some in here, guys. We got some for the month, all right? We got some stuff for the month. All right. We got an ugly hammer on app. Let's see if that goes in force above 506.74. AXON 32 possible 322 back up above 554.86. The magnitude is 654.45 for the month. Monthly signals. Coin. Man, coin has been getting beat up, but will it come back up above 193.03? The magnitude is 264.63. COO. I don't think that's a hammer. That's not a hammer. What is this? Carpet. CPRT. Above $41.22. The magnitude's 43.29. All right. We'll put it on there. EA Sports, it's in the game. All-time highs and Momo Hammer. We'll put it on there, but man, not really doing a whole bunch there. I'm gonna skip it. EFX Hammer on the month. Equifax, let's see if that goes in force above 210.54. Excuse me, 210.56. The magnitude is 229.06. Monthly signals. Here we go. All right. FICO Hammer on. Oh, this is $1,000 though. All right. This is $1,000. If you can trade this, here's something you can put on your watch list. There you go. What's up? Ant is back. We'll look at that in a second. This is junk. Pacey. What's Pacey doing? Man, Pacey. Hopefully Sandollar got out of this. He said he took some profits on this. But Hammer on the month, let's see if that goes in force above 139.96. The magnitude is 160.15. Maybe monthly signals, maybe TYL Hammer on the month. Man, let's see if they want to take that thing above 375.27. The magnitude is 457.18. UNH, possible 322 back up above 296.77. The magnitude is 258.98. Okay, 258.98, and there's a hammer on the week. Hammer on the week, it goes in force above 294.88. The magnitude here is 255. So does healthcare really want to start coming back up on that? All right, healthcare, UNH. We've been trying to get out of this for a long time, since May, April. We've been trying really hard to get out of this, so we'll see. VRSK Hammer on the month. All right, let's see if that goes in force above 218.80. The magnitude's 226.13. Okay, it's been a while since we talked about this one. We got some old stuff on the charts. Someone said, give me Walmart. He said, give me Walmart. Possible 312 up above 128.65. The magnitude is 134.67. Okay, 134.67. All right. Wow. Put them in the chat. We got 15 minutes left. Let me know what you guys want to look at for next week. Also, you got any questions about the strat? Put them in the chart. Put them in the chat. You got some questions about the strat? He said, give me CVS. Insight on the month for next month. Okay. Let's see if that goes in force above $80.15. The magnitude's 84.09. Starbucks. SBUX. Starbucks. Insight on the month. No actionable signal on the week, but definitely insight on the month. Let's see if that goes in force above 101.04. Not a lot of magnitude there on that first hit. Oh, that first target above 105.09. The second one after that's 117.54. We'll see what they want to do. We'll see. So we wanted to look at shooters on tech. Shooters on tech. All right, we got a shooter in tech. What else looks like it's going to go to the lows in tech? We got a hammer here, an ANC. Let's see if that goes in force above 215.63. The magnitude's 228.81. I know I just said we were looking for downside, but can't ignore that. It's a good hammer. Okay. We got some airlines in there. Just kind of skimming this real quick, looking for some shooters on the week for tech. That's a decent, oh man, to the lows. Golly, I'm gonna skip that. Fortnite, again, looking for some shooters, but that's a hammer above 79.55. The magnitude's 85.65. Okay. I know that's backwards. I know it's backwards. Glow, beautiful. Yeah, Glow. Zay's in here, and Marla B probably knows. You know, Richard Judge too. Glow. I always wanted to call this one Glow, even though it's called Corning, but Glow, GLW. When you got that glow from The Last Dragon, man, yeah, you get some trades like this. You got that glow. You get in on something that just keeps going to the highs like this. You got that glow. All right, you don't care what anybody says to you. You good, good. All right, Groupon inside on the week for next week. Let's see if that goes in force below $75.87. The magnitude is 68.14. Global payments. Global payments. Global payments. I'm not really seeing any shooters. I don't know where these shooters are coming from on this at all, really. Why is tech coming down as a shooter when most of these things are not shooters? That's really weird. Keys. Who's the master? Sure enough. Look at that. I love it. I love it. If you're not in the chat, you're missing it. If you're not in the chat, you are missing it. I swear, look at that. That's hilarious. Who's the master? Sure enough. Oh, man. Just a quick thing here. If you are in here and you see this little guy right there, and there's a super chat. You hit that super chat button. There's some little ones in there. There's some big ones. But the rule is you use that super chat. I stop what I'm talking about and talk about what you want to talk about. Okay. Let me get through this real quick and I'll get to these because I'm not seeing any shooters. I'm not seeing a lot of shooters in here. Why does this look like it wants to go to the lows? Weird. Nvidia to the lows. Look at this thing. Golly. All right, they took them to the highs and then they dropped them. Drop kick. Scenario 3 on the month as well. Goodness gracious. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is showing up as a shooter on the week on tech. There is a shooter right there in Synopsis. They want to get that, keep that going to the downside below 406.87. The magnitude's the magnitude's 393.47. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of this downside that they're talking about. Well, there's one. Tell. Shooter on the week below. Shooter on the week below 227.55. The magnitude is 214.18. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. Apple shooter, green shooter. Okay. Verizon, Visa shooter on, hammer on the week above. See if that goes in force above 321.06. The magnitude is 332.36. It's already sitting there. I think we already talked about that. VeriSign trying to come back out of the ashes. Okay. All right. Again, I don't know why this is shown as a shooter on tech. That is really strange. Of course, they put a whole bunch of EOG, put a bunch of energy stocks in here inside week for next week. All right. And it is not at all-time highs. That's good. Not at all-time highs. So let's see if that goes in force above 125.41. That's a good one. Zay, that's a good one. That's how you do it. You're starting to figure it out now. You're starting to figure out what we like to look at. COP. Actionable signals. Give me a reason to get in there. Give me a way in there. Inside week for next week. COP. Let's see if that goes in force above 113. 113.99. All right. We're going to party like it's 113.99. And again, not all-time highs. So this got some more room to go. That's good. That's good. And then last one for Zay was Chevron. Oops. Well, goodness gracious. Chevron 2 up on the month, inside on the week for a possible 312 back up above 187, 187.49. All right. And it will be all-time highs, but as long as you know that, all right, it's jam with buyers. As long as you know that, and you're just looking for a way in, that's fine. That's fine. All right, we got a few minutes left. Marla B said, "Give me Apple." Give me Apple. Shooter on the week. I thought we already talked about this one. Maybe we didn't. Shooter on the week below 263.26. The magnitude is 255.90. And then it's also shooter on the month. That's probably what we were talking about earlier. We'll put it on the weekly signals and then monthly signals right there because it could go to the lows below 255.89. Okay, 255.89. We got to look at that. We have to look at that. All right. What was the other thing we were looking at? Because going back, oh, Netflix. I want to talk about Netflix. I think we talked about Netflix already on the intro, but back to the highs. They said we're getting out of the Warner Brothers deal. We're getting out of the Warner Brothers deal, and scenario 3 on the week, back to the highs. This is what we call a pivot machine gun. All right, took out all these guys here. All right, bam, 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 bam. All right, took them all out to the high, you know, going right back up. So anybody short Netflix, they got blown out. All right, definitely. And then yes, you could have bought just a little bit to start for next month. So next month, looking for a 3-2 up. This was really good. All right, this jump, really strange. Let's see if there's any news on this, other than them pulling out of that deal. Warner Brothers terminates merger with Netflix. Wow. Okay. Terminates merger. Let's see. Yeah. Netflix back to the highs. Oh man. I'm trying to see if there's any headlines here. Why is Netflix rising today? Yeah, why? That's a good question. Netflix shares soaring Friday after the company backed out of the tug of war against Paramount Skydance for Warner Brothers. That's it. They said we're getting out of this deal, and everybody was like, finally, thanks. Weird. Netflix shares are trading higher after the company declined to raise its offer to acquire Warner Brothers. Also, the company said it would resume its share repurchase program. Ah, that could be it too. That's it. It would resume its share repurchase program. That's it. That's it. Okay. All right. They're buying them shares back, and they're like, they want to get back into that. Yep. Them getting out of the deal was news. Essentially getting back. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're essentially getting back 2.8 billion. Yeah, because they were potentially, that was on the line. You're right. Paramount bought Warner Brothers. Oh, it's official. Okay. Netflix got break up. Yeah. Brent's in the house. Yeah, I just said all that. Brent. Yeah, they're but they're going to start buying their own shares again, and then and then essentially they're getting 2.8 billion back. All right, billion back. So interesting there. So here's your watch list for next week. All right, let's go down the watch list real quick for next week. UNH, we got some upside action here. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of upside signals, not so much downside. Okay, but we have some that could potentially go to the lows. We'll see what they want to do tomorrow. We'll see what they want to do Monday and next week with this whole brand new month, and then also the news with Iran. Does that go anywhere? You know what I mean? What's that really do? Okay, full time frame continuity to the upside. Well, Chevron to the highs. All right, and then monthly signals. What do we got so far? I don't have a bunch in here, but this is what we're looking at right now. All right, Apple with a shooter, AbbVie. All right, Hammer. Again, looking for some upside stuff. We'll keep looking. I'll keep looking, and this list will grow. All right, but this is what we got right now. We got something to start with. That's good. Always good to have something to start with. Oh yeah. Sorry. Airplanes, Delta. Shooter on the month for Delta. Okay. Yeah, they look like they want to take these things down. Let's see if that goes in force below 65.16. The magnitude is 62.90. The one after that one's 55.28. Monthly signals list, definitely. And then UAL. Shooter on the month below. Let's see if that goes in force below 103.75. Takes out these guys here at 100, but let's see if we get down to 89.82. We'll put that on the monthly signals list. All right. Monthly signals. Let me get out of this take. Hold on. All right. Thank you guys for being in here. Thank you guys for all the laughs. Go check out thestratsoldier.com. All right, check out thestratsoldier.com. If you watch this whole thing and you're like, what are actionable signals? Check out my execution course. That'll talk about all how to trade actionable signals, right? Execution course. You also got the time frame continuity course and the unlocking broadening formations course. All right, good stuff there. I'll be getting a webinar set up here very soon, and I'll get that on there for March. Thank you so much for you guys being in here. Thank you, Zay. Thank you, Marlon B. Thank you, Beach Bum, Richard Judge. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Terry Baker, Empowerment Assets. So much fun. Thank you guys for being in here. Thank you for putting stuff in the chat so we had stuff to chat about. Watch the news. We don't necessarily trade the news, but watch the news. You don't want that stuff to, you want to know what's going on out there. And Ryan, always here. Thank you, Ryan. Always here. Yeah, you want to watch the news. You want to know what's going on in the world. You want to know what's happening. Again, we don't necessarily trade the news, but we want to know what's happening. So watch for those actionable signals. All right, don't get in early. Get in when they actually go in force. All right, that's when you punch them in the face, and then that's when you work them. All right, keep creating winning positions, add to them, and defending them with tight stops. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.